is our 2006 Jeep Liberty, the CRD diesel motor in it. First we're going to start by moving the shifter from park and the first. Make sure you set your e-brake. Down below we got a single screw holding the center piece of the dash in. Also make sure you go ahead and eject all your CDs. Make sure there's nothing set in there. We'll get going. Now that the screw has been removed from the lower pocket, there's no other else mounting hardware holding it in. Go ahead and pull open the cigarette lighter plug. Pull it lightly. Let's start at the bottom coming out first. Slowly wrap your hand around the top. Don't use any panel tools or screwdrivers, because they will scratch your dash. Now we're able to pull this dash up and out of the way. Now when you're back in here, we're going to have a few pieces you can disconnect if you'd like. Typically makes it a little bit easier. The AC is a little more fun to work with. Or at this point you can go ahead and just pull the 4 screws on our radio out. See, there's one in here. 4 Phillips head screws or 7mm screw heads. And those quick 4 right there to make it easier to pull the radio in and out. Once you've gotten the dash loose, you can pull it to the side. I unplug the AC controls. And you actually take the dash, pick it up a little bit and spin it. Get it nice and flat on your center console. Now you can take your drill and go ahead and pull your 4 screws out. That's where a magnetic tip comes in handy if you have one. So this is out of the way. The radio has no other bolts holding it in. Simple sliding the unit out towards you. At this point you want to be careful not to set it down. You've got a single gray plug there for the older Jeeps. And you've got an antenna connection there. The antenna connection is a little weird. You're going to actually have to pull the black collar out, which will intentionally pull the antenna out. Alright, this is where the fun part begins. So where I admitted to talking about taking a dash. Make sure you put a shirt down for the dash. Now we're going to remove the AC vacuum lines. These are vacuum lines. Do not cut these. They're not easy to repair. You're also going to move the cigarette lighter. Cigarette lighter has a push tab on it. Push it, pull it out. As far as the vacuum lines go, they're going to slide in just like so and click in. What you can do is you can take a little screwdriver in here, pry it open just a little bit, and you'll be able to slide the whole unit off one side at a time. Once you get that off, then we start working on the cigarette lighter, which is going to be the fun part because we've got to transfer the cigarette lighter unit completely over to the new dash piece. These are the pieces that are going to come in the non-amplified kit. It's going to have your standard harness, no RCAs for typically the Infinity sound system in it. These are left and right brackets for the radio. They're not labeled, they can go either direction. These are the bolts to mount the brackets to the aftermarket dash, excuse me. This is your antenna adapter for the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep adapters for the factory antenna. Now in here you notice we're going to have to add the cigarette lighter from the original dash kit. And there's a screw hole for the only screw that we had to take in for the dash. These kits are very nice because they come with the brackets already attached for the spring clips to slide right into the dash. No need for you to have to transfer the brackets off the original dash equipment, causing them to crack the original dash, making it very brittle. Or that looks like all we have to do is transfer over our AC unit. So it's going to be 4 screws for that. These are very simple. They're going to slide in place. And then you just transfer your 4 screws that come in the kit, 2 on each side. And we'll be able to slide our radio in from behind, and we'll get to that in a second. Okay, at this point we went ahead and attached our air conditioning unit, the 4 screws for the AC, attached the 4 screws for the bracket. Now the nice thing about this is we can go ahead and put our radio and get it somewhat lined up, have an idea what it's going to look like. Here I've got an older Pioneer F90 BT Premier unit. And as you can see, you slide it in from behind. It actually fills that space up very nicely. Very smooth and flush. You can actually adjust the depth on the side by the slide rings for the mounting screws. Now the mounting screws will come with the radio when you purchase it new. If by chance you have a second-hand radio and you need the mounting screws, every local stereo shop will have them. Very simple, not very deep screws. Sometimes they're machine thread versus being a Corsair thread, but I've never had an issue with the screws ever going in the sides. Okay, wiring on these is really very simple. They use the factory codes from the most of the Corsairs you're ever going to find. They're going to have these universal colors. You're going to have your yellow. You're going to have two of them. You can go ahead and tie those together. That's going to be your constant power. And what that's going to allow you to do is going to save your clocks, save your stations, any memory you have in the radio as far as equalizer presets, stuff like that. You have your two black wires, also going to be your ground wires. You can go ahead and twist those two together also. Now this orange wire, orange with white wire right here, what this is going to do is it's called your factory illumination wire. What that allows you to do is if you have a radio that has illumination options, say this Pioneer has an orange-white wire on it also, you're going to tie those two together, and what that's going to do is every time you turn on your headlights, it's actually going to dim your radio down. So at night, you click on your headlights, your radio is not going to be quite nowhere near as bright as it is during the day. Makes it a bit easier to see at night, so it's not blinding you while you're driving. Now the next wire is going to be the blue-white wire. Typically, a lot of these Chryslers would have an amplifier turn on inside the car. This one being the non-amplified system, don't necessarily need a blue with white wire. But if your car has a blue-white wire on the radio side, go ahead and hook it up. It's not going to hurt anything. Now you've got your standard speaker wires. You've got your white and white with black. Now your white wires are going to be your left front. See, there's white and white with black. You're going to match those up over here to white and white with black. Gray and gray with black is going to be your right front. Green and green with black is going to be your left rear. Purple and pearl with black is going to be your right rear. And then you're going to move on to your ignition wire, which is going to be your red wire. What that's going to do is going to allow you to turn the radio on and off with the key, or whenever the ECU allows your radio to turn on and off. Alright, now we're going to go back to the dash cavity. Quite a few pieces in here we're going to want to remove. First thing you'll notice is these tabs here are going to get in your way. We're going to have to slice those down a little bit, pull them out, both sides. And we're going to want to remove this metal bracket back here. That'll give us room for the top to clear. Hoping we don't have to remove this piece, because as you can tell it's pretty structural for the dash. So let's go ahead and get that metal plate out of the way. See if we can get this one going for itself. Other than that, most likely I'm going to take a cut across here, bring it up, try and trim out as much of this as possible. Obviously be careful because you got wires hanging down here. There's nothing up in here, nothing up in here, but there's a connector right here. That push pin right there will tell you that there's a bundle. This harness is right here. The nice thing what I'm going to do doesn't help us at all. Again, be very careful. The AC lines, they are vacuum lines. Once you cut them, they don't repair very easily. Looks like we got everything else out of the way. This is going to be your hazard light switch. Also controls your blinkers. And I've tucked the antenna up out of the way for now. But let's go ahead and give it a trim and go from there. Okay, now with the tabs cut out, you'll be able to see that I can get a lot more room in there now. And as I go ahead and cut this piece out here, you see it's set in there originally. What I did here is I left these two top parts long. As again, was talking about the support of the dash. It also supports the hazard switch. As you can see, the hazard switch is moving on that bracket. And what you can do in this case, go ahead and shoot a short screw up through here, and up through here, and that'll allow you to mount this down hard, keep it from flexing at all on the dash, keeps the hazard switch nice and tight. This tube right here is just these two AC vents. Not going to be anything in there you need to worry about as far as putting a screw through. Kit. Looks like a nice factory piece. At this point, you got the option if you want to paint it to match, leave it black, or they also offer a camo edition. Camouflage dipped vinyl on it. I'm going to go ahead and do a gray vinyl wrap. Got the radio in and playing. Other than that, we went ahead and hooked up a DVD player up. Roof mount. The blue-white wire is needed. These do have factory amplified systems in the front doors, whether it's Infinity or not. All in all, dash kit fits great. Holds the radio nice and tight, not loose. Good to go. Great kit.